thought about how many tiny parts go into making your phone? Now imagine if just one of those parts suddenly ran out. What happens then? Well, that's exactly the kind of problem Apple is facing right now. According to a new report, Apple CEO Tim Cook is feeling extremely anxious because the iPhone 17 production is running into serious trouble. And the issue? It's all about something most of us have never heard of: low CT fiberglass cloth. This material is used inside smartphones to help manage heat and reduce stress on components as the device heats up and cools down. It might sound small, but it's crucial. Without it, Apple can't move forward with building the iPhone 17 series. That's why suppliers across the industry are now scrambling to deal with the shortage. Apple isn't wasting any time. Reports say the company is pushing its supply chain every single day to sort out this mess. And they have good reason to be worried. The iPhone 17 isn't just another phone. This launch is meant to mark a big new step for Apple. For one, Apple is changing the design of the iPhone 17. The Pro models are getting a much larger camera island, something that looks a lot like what we've seen on the Google Pixel 9. That's a major shift in how the phone will look, and people are already talking about it. But there's an even bigger surprise coming. Apple is retiring the iPhone Plus model. Instead, they're planning to introduce a new version called the iPhone 17 Air. This one's supposed to be thinner, lighter, and designed for people who care more about sleek looks than anything else. If true, it's going to be a bold move, and one that could shake up Apple's lineup. While Apple is trying to solve one issue after another, Samsung is quietly moving forward on its own path. The company has been working hard on its next big thing, the Exynos 2600 processor built using 2nm technology. If all goes well, we might see it in the Galaxy S26 phones. This could bring some real competition back into the game, especially if Samsung's chip performs well globally. But going back to Apple, there's another major concern that's been hanging over the company: tariffs. Apple has managed to avoid some of the impact for now, but that could change very quickly. With trade tensions still high between the United States and China, Apple may be forced to move more of its production to other countries. The problem is, even if they do that, those other countries could also face tariffs, maybe lower ones, but still enough to raise costs. If Apple can't get the parts it needs and also has to deal with new tariffs, the price of the iPhone 17 series might go up. Either Apple has to take a hit on profits, or they'll pass those extra costs on to customers. With all these problems stacking up, it's hard to say if Apple can launch the iPhone 17 lineup on time this September. Even if they do, the prices may not be what we're used to seeing. So now the question is, will Apple be able to pull it off? Can they fix the supply chain issues, avoid major tariff damage, and still deliver a brand new iPhone lineup this year? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Would you be interested in the iPhone 17 Air if it's slimmer and lighter? And how do you feel about the bigger camera bump? If you're new here, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any updates. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Is Apple making a bold move or a big mistake with the iPhone 17 Pro? That's the question a lot of people are asking right now, especially after seeing the new design leaks. After years of using nearly the same look, Apple is finally changing things up with the iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max. Based on recent case leaks and high-quality renders, the cameras on these models are now set inside a much larger island on the back of the phone. The triple camera layout is still there, but it sits on a wider, more raised section, kind of like what we've seen on Google's Pixel 9. At first, this new design got mixed reactions. Some people thought it looked bulky or out of place. But now that more colorful case renders are showing up, opinions are slowly starting to shift. The phone, especially when combined with a nice case, actually looks modern and fresh. Even people who usually don't use cases are admitting the colors help the design feel more polished. That said, this look isn't for everyone, and it seems like Apple knows that. So if the new camera island feels too big or too much for you, there are still other options. The base model iPhone 17 will likely stick to the iPhone 16 design, keeping things simple and familiar. Then there's the rumored iPhone 17 Air. This one seems to land somewhere in the middle. It has a larger camera island too, but it's shaped differently, taller and more narrow. Some early renders show a look that's quite similar to a Pixel phone, and honestly, from a distance, you might mistake one for the other. Now, while Apple is shaking things up, Samsung and Google seem to be staying the course. Their upcoming phones, like the Galaxy S26, probably won't see big changes in design. Samsung, for example, already moved away from sharp edges and seems happy with their current style. As for Google, the Pixel has a very clear identity that people recognize right away. So Apple taking a different direction here is a bit of a risk. Personally, I think the iPhone 17 Pro's new look might not age well. It could split users between those who love it and those who stick with the standard or Air model. But at the same time, you have to give Apple credit for at least trying something new. Beyond the design, there's also talk of Apple working on a new Pro version and even a foldable iPhone by 2027. That could be a game changer, if they get it right. The foldable space is heating up, and Apple joining that group could really raise the bar. The only concern now is how all of this fits into the bigger picture, especially with the whole tariff situation going on. If prices start rising because of extra import taxes or political shifts, these newer models might get harder for the average buyer to afford. Still, it's exciting to see Apple trying something new with the iPhone 17 line. Whether you love the new look or prefer the older styles, there will probably be an option for everyone. The next few months should give us a better idea of how all of this plays out, especially once Apple gives us more details. Make sure to like this video if you found it helpful, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future updates on Apple, Samsung, and more. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Is Samsung finally back on track with its One UI 7 update, or is it just making another round of promises it won't keep? After keeping users waiting for almost 6 months to release the Android 15 base One UI 7 update, and then messing it up for the Galaxy S24 series, the Z Fold 6, and the Z Flip 6, Samsung is now back with a new rollout schedule. And while it sounds promising on paper, a lot of users are not buying into the hype this time. So here's what the revised update plan looks like. In April 2025, Samsung says the Galaxy S24, S24 Plus, S24 Ultra, Z Flip 6, and Z Fold 6 will get the update again. These devices were supposed to be among the first to receive One UI 7, but delays and bugs slowed everything down. Now, Samsung is restarting the rollout, hoping to get it right this time. Then, in May, things get packed. The list includes the Galaxy Tab S10 Plus, Tab S10 Ultra, Z Flip 5, Z Fold 5, Galaxy S23 series, S24 FE, Z Flip 4, Z Fold 4, the Tab S9 lineup, and even the Galaxy Z Flip 3 and Fold 3. It doesn't stop there. The Galaxy S21 lineup, S23 FE, Tab S8 series, and Galaxy S22 devices are also lined up for updates. Moving into June, Samsung plans to update a huge list of mid-range devices, and we mean huge. We're talking about the Galaxy A16 5G, A35 5G, A55 5G, F16 5G, M16 5G, M35 5G, and many more. The Galaxy A05s, a 15 5G, a 25 5G, F55 5G, M55s 5G. It just keeps going. Over 3 dozen models are supposed to get the update by the end of June. And finally, in July, the Galaxy Tab 9 is expected to get its turn. Now, let's be honest. After so many delays, does this schedule sound realistic? Not really. If this all sounds familiar, that's because Samsung tried something like this before. Back when One UI 7 first launched in South Korea, the plan was to update many of these same devices by March or April. But clearly, things didn't go as planned. Now, most of those updates have quietly been pushed back, especially for the Galaxy Z Fold 5, Z Flip 5, and S23 series, which are now expected to get the update in May. To be fair, Samsung might have had different timelines for different countries, but the size of the delays we're seeing now suggests this isn't just about regional plans. It looks more like the entire process is still behind schedule. And it's not just the high-end phones feeling the impact. Devices like the Galaxy A34, A35, and A16 were all expected to get One UI 7 in May, but they've been pushed to June. The Galaxy Tab 9, another mid-range product, now looks like it'll be updated in July instead of June. Interestingly, Samsung seems determined not to shift the update windows for the Galaxy S22, S21, and the Tab S8 series. But it's still hard to believe all these updates can really happen in May without more issues.